starting the show.
Probably. I don't even know.
All right, hello everybody. My name is Master Chen,
This is Doxy.
This is Zenify.
And I'm Richard Satchel.
and you are either watching or listening to Greynoise. All right, everybody, welcome to episode, I believe, 182 of Greynoise, the podcast where we always start on time. It is 7:30-ish at the Sin Shop here in Vegas, specifically Henderson. The address is 1075 American Pacific Drive, Suite C in Henderson, Nevada. We are here every Friday night at 7:30 where we talk about some crazy stuff. Go to synshop.org, synshop.org, and go to meetup.com/synshop. For some of the stuff that we have going on, the classes, the appointments, the cool stuff in the meetings. Like, we have a board meeting tomorrow, don't we?
As a matter of fact, we
I
do.
can't believe we do. That came up quick.
Yeah,
It does,
there's
yeah.
only like 11 more months until we're going to find Doxy another shirt, right?
I'm not making any more bets ever again in my life.
You
That's
say that.
probably
No,
a
I'm
good
telling you,
idea.
you say that, but we can always do this when he's drunk. When he's drunk, we make a bet with him, and then he'll accept it.
Sounds like you're. Yep.
Yep. I mean, keep that in mind. So anyway, for more information on our podcast, go to Greynoise, GREYNOI.se. Remember, you can join us on our Discord where we're always chatting, but specifically tonight we'll be in the live stream channel. So have a chat with us there and talk there.
I had a new shirt idea, but I'm not going to spoil it because I'm going to have to create it and give it to you next year.
Nice. I'm excited. Christmas can't come soon enough.
I can't. It really can't. Do you guys have any other announcements that you wanted to bring up?
Which ones did you say already?
No, I just said that where we are and who we are.
Oh, okay. I mean, there's the announcements where 23B, the Hackerspace, they're hosting SparkleCon. It's actually this weekend, and tickets are still on sale. So you could buy day passes or I think weekend passes. I don't know how their structure is, but it's Saturday and Sunday. So you could do that. Akeen, fellow member and director of the shop, still has his job posted on our Discord and in the Sin Shop Discord. If you are looking to be a security engineer,
I think you're
you know.
getting murderous eyes from our production team.
I'm
saying,
not looking at
"Speak
it.
up, nah!"
Yeah, you could hit up Akeen or just look in the job posting portions of our Discords.
Awesome.
Other than that,
Anything else?
not really.
Yeah. Wait. I'm sorry. Did you just say we had the project night? Or
Oh, I didn't really. say
okay.
that one,
So
though.
we also, I mean, it's here. We wanted to talk about it. So Tuesday nights are our project nights where you get to come down and it's an open night. So you don't have to be a member to participate. You just come in during the open hours. Which, by the way, if you don't know, the Sin Shop is open pretty much daily from 6 to 10 p.m. On Tuesdays, it's from like 2 to 10. And Sundays, it's kind of just if you have vetted members here.
Yeah.
So anyway, if you want to, of course, come down. All right. Anything that you guys want to talk about today?
I want to talk about your stuff first.
in regards to like
Well, there's a lot of shit that I wanted to talk about.
our
So.
Start it off.
weeks or
Well, okay. So for anybody who remember from last week, today was my last day at my current employer. So for the weekend, I'm unemployed, and then I start. Thanks. And then I start my new position on Monday. I am totally ready to move on.
you really should have taken a month off like I did.
Yeah, I don't know how you. I mean, I know how you did that, but I think I'd lose my sanity. I feel like I always need to be doing something.
I was working on projects the whole time. Oh, actually, also Call of Duty Black Ops came out
That'll
in
happen,
November.
yeah.
So
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. I'm not
So
a big
much
video
time.
gamer.
Do you
yeah,
still
no
play-
relation.
Do you still play?
Yeah, from time to time.
I never see any of you guys on. I swear to God, you're avoiding me.
No, that's because I hide my online
You
presence. Yeah.
motherfuckers.
I don't want.
He's always playing on Invisible or like Invisible.
Yeah. I just don't want to be the asshole to go. Nah, I don't really want to play right now. But I kind of do want to play, but not with people.
Every time I play, okay, I don't play video games a lot, but every time I try to play,
But when I do,
no, because I don't play so much. When I load up a game and I'm like, all right, Doxy, we're ready to play. Let's do this. I have my Overwatch telling me, oh, you have like 5 gigs of updates, and I'm like, okay, so it'll be a while. And by the time it's done downloading and installing, it's time for me to go do other adult things.
I think that's happened every single time we've tried to play with you.
I've played like a couple of rounds.
Literally one.
Well, the one round you did
Yeah.
play, you sat in a corner, and
Are you talking about PUBG?
I was trying
Yeah.
to play with my trackpad.
it was one where he was just prone in a corner. He's like, "I'm just gonna sit here all game." I'm like, we're not even in the circle. You're gonna die.
Wait, what game was this?
PUBG.
It was
the only
PUBG.
game we played together
Oh, no, we played Overwatch.
once.
Did we?
The Halloween special.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
Dr. Junkenstein, but that was last year.
You didn't
Not
have a
this year.
lasting effect. We must have carried you.
Thanks. Yeah, so anyway, Doxy, I don't know if you had any specific questions, but I'm pretty much ready for the next thing to happen. I'm you know.
Oh no, I was gonna say, are you nervous about transitioning? I mean, because you've been in your prior company for a while.
I'm not nervous. I feel so ready. Like I'm ready to learn and do things like what you do, which is make things happen.
Is your work hours just like standard?
Yeah, standard 8 to 5. I mean, I don't see anything that's going to be.
You should go in a little earlier just so I could force you to go to lunch with me at 11 so we can mess up Doxy's schedule.
Yeah, I don't.
good.
So until I know exactly what the landscape is, I'm gonna probably not be having lunch too far away from the office.
This is the last time we ever had lunch with Chin.
So no.
It's the end of an era.
We'll have lunch unless I meet like really really cool people who want to go to lunch with me and nobody else. And then, sorry guys, I gotta ditch you.
Very specific.
Wow.
No,
Okay.
I'm kidding.
Jeez.
I dig it. That's fine.
No, I'm kidding.
No, but like, cause you have like it's the same role, but it's a different role. Like you're doing sort of the same thing, but you're doing a
Okay,
lot.
so it's the same role. So again, for those people who have not ever listened to the show, I used to be a VoIP admin, and I'm not anymore, unless it's a hobby. So I still have a hobby as PBX, but it's nothing like enterprise or corporate. So
Do you think you'll get any phone calls in the next couple of weeks from prior company, like I did?
I want to say no, but
You were the
probably.
only one in that department.
Yeah, that's true. So
You're gonna get some
Are you
calls.
sad about it? You seem sad.
no. I'm not sad about leaving.
So wait, are you
But
actually?
he's depressing me right now.
What? How am I depressed? Oh, because you're gonna get calls.
Because you're kind of right. I don't know.
You're going to, but
Yeah, you probably will.
are you gonna be a one-man department again, or?
No, I'm not going to be a one-man department. So I'll have somebody to bounce ideas off of, and that'll be cool. Because I think, see, here's the thing, and I think this is why I'm so excited to go into this new position, is like, I specialized in VoIP, and I knew VoIP and everything that came with it. So the Linux infrastructure, the network infrastructure that made the calls happen and all that, I was great at. But then while that was going on, I wasn't paying so much attention to the other aspects of the industry that have kind of taken off. Cloud, like, for instance, AWS, Google Cloud Platform, Azure. Like, I didn't know any of that aside from, like, talking with you guys, actually, and getting to know that space.
I
So,
want to ask my dumbass questions.
You know,
well, so I'm excited to learn that side of it.
well, the great thing is if you start learning cloud stuff right now, right, and you study real hard at it for the next 3 years, you'll be an expert just in time. It's time to take everything back and off of the cloud and put it onto private service.
I know we've talked about this so many times before. Do you really think that's going to happen?
I think it's gonna happen.
It's
you
gonna
think so
happen.
too? Why?
Yeah. Because
It's just honestly, I think it's going to happen for the sheer reason of convincing other people they could spend money to do that thing. It's
Okay.
like a money
Yeah.
thing. I think they're just going to go, everything's in the cloud now. By the way, everything's unsecure in the cloud. Fucking move on-prem now. And then it's like, by the way, it's going to cost you $150,000 to do that.
150,000.
I know.
I'm not hearing
It'll
reasons why
cost you
people.
150,000 to think about it.
Yeah.
I'm not, but like, do you guys seriously? Because
No, I think it's
like,
going to happen for
yeah,
sure. It's a money.
absolutely.
It's definitely going to be a
because
money
it's
thing.
cheaper to have on-prem servers and stuff
It's
like
not
that.
even
No.
cheaper. It's just going to be a way.
It's just gonna be a way
to
to them to
contract out and
generate
make
revenue.
more
Yeah.
money and generate revenue for another company that's gonna go, hey, I could do that for you. And you're like, well, the other people said that it's unsecure up there now, so I guess we got to move on-prem. And then you hire those consultants to put it on-prem again.
I hear what you're saying.
So I hear your doubt. I'm going to put it away.
Okay.
Ready?
Okay.
In the beginning, there was the
the
mainframe, and it was.
and it was
Right?
No, okay, so I have a thing to add. Go ahead.
All right, so there was the mainframe, and everybody ties into the mainframe, right? And then over
You had a
time,
dumb terminal.
You had a dumb terminal. Over time, the intelligence moved to the outside, and everything's out here, blah blah blah, and they are all a big mesh network. And then it all moves into the cloud. We're back in the mainframe period, and then it's gonna move right back to where it fucking was.
It's like a fractal of,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think I've been saying this for at least the past 15 years, but I've always felt like the internet is a mainframe and all these devices are the dumb terminals.
In a way.
Because like you can't really use your smartphone without an internet connection. I mean, like, to its maximum potential, right?
Right.
So then this is essentially a dumb terminal without that internet connection.
Yeah,
Or
it's-
even with that internet connection, it's going back to something, the mainframe,
Yeah.
the main internet,
right.
the mainternet. Okay, never mind.
I hear what you're saying. I see no signs or indications of that, and maybe I haven't been looking hard enough. I haven't really
Yeah.
thought about it because I mean I'm pretty focused on the cloud right now. Obviously, I just don't see any indications that it's going that way. It just
Yeah.
I don't want to say it wouldn't make sense. It depends on what you're doing at your company or whatever. Like it makes sense for some people, always
Yeah.
of course, but it seems like a step backwards. I feel like we should move towards making it more secure
They won't-
as opposed to abandoning it and leaving it unsecure.
It won't be perceived as a step backwards. though.
Right.
They won't convince.
Well, the salespeople or whoever's pushing it to be. Yeah, no, I totally get that.
They'll convince a couple CEOs that this is the new thing that's going to make you awesome, and they're going to be like, "Oh, okay."
I hear you're saying, and I want to say that people aren't that dumb.
No.
But then
no.
again,
they're that. Dumb.
Okay, so we actually have a community mic
Here we go.
very early in the show. So, and
Let's do it.
this person knows he's an authority on this kind of shit. So go ahead.
So I agree that I think there's too much shit moving to the cloud
Yep.
right now. I don't think it'll all move back on-prem. I think the cloud will still be there, and portions of it will be pretty much just a few competitors like AWS, possibly Google, Microsoft, competing for those pieces, because you're still going to have people like small businesses that don't want to stand up their own infrastructure,
Yes.
right? They
Yeah.
just want to say, fucking just give me my web server and make it easy. I don't want to deal with Apache. I don't want to deal with a database. I don't want to deal with tiered architecture, right? Just let me put these pieces together.
Right.
That's where, there might be a sweet spot. But I think enterprises are moving way too much shit in there. But stuff will come back out, and then they'll just be this sort of
Equilibrium.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the bathtub water going one way, right? Going right back.
Slosh,
Yeah,
slosh,
that's what it's doing.
slosh.
That's exactly what's going on right now.
Yeah.
Well, because when everybody starts rushing onto the cloud and they're like, "Yay, I can make VMs anywhere. I'm just gonna make a VM for that, and they just do.
Well,
and before you know it, though,
Right.
your bill also goes do.
So let's talk about that, because
Yeah.
that's what I'm kind of thinking about right now. So if you're a small company, right, and you don't have, like, let's say you don't have the space to host your own equipment, or like you don't have a data center in your brick and mortar shop if you had one, or because you don't have a brick and mortar shop, you have to push your equipment to the cloud, right?
Okay.
Because you have to have a place to hold all this that you're using.
Sure.
So, okay, you're renting your equipment or you're renting your space on these servers, and it's going to cost you an X amount. But like you said, as this kind of goes up, I mean, wouldn't you eventually want to buy your own server?
Yeah.
And you would pay the cost up front, but eventually you're going to pay that off, and then there would be no bill, right?
That's not true.
Well, the problem that I see with cloud when the bill does get too high is that you're paying rent. You're paying a monthly service for an indefinite amount of time. You'll never own the equipment.
So, go ahead. No, sorry. Go ahead.
Whereas, just like if you're buying the server, and like if you have the means to do so, you're buying the server. Eventually, you will pay that cost down, and you own the hardware. Now, okay, time out. I know where this might be going. Is that hardware gets obsolete every 2 years?
If they can make it go out that long,
It depends on what it is.
So
like a cell phone,
it's different from
nah.
from housing rent to equipment rent. This might be a different story. But community mic.
So this actually pertains to me because I work for a small business, and that's one of the things we're doing right now. Due to people we had working for us, we actually have, for a less than 50 company, we had full Cisco servers, Cisco rack. We had like pretty much an entire closet full of actual enterprise grade gear. And one of the things that as stuff became obsolete, we've done is slowly move stuff onto the cloud. And in fact, last weekend, our domain controller completely died. And now we started looking at like cloud options for domain controllers. And it's definitely something where I can understand people moving stuff to cloud, but like on-premise definitely has like advantages just because some of the control options that I used to have with the domain controller, even for an old one, are now lacking. And I have to like try to find where those are because they're not traditionally presented to you where it's like, oh, here's your console. Here's all of the special things to make everything happen. Here's a page, and then you have to find where on that page that located. So it's something where it all comes down to who's making the decision on what's gonna go where.
Right, which is what Satchel was saying earlier.
Yeah, because in the end, like it's come down to one of those things where like we've got all this stuff going on premise, and I'm already like, maybe we should have one on premise just to tie everything all up with everything else.
I mean, I do think that there's benefits to both infrastructures.
Yeah.
There's benefits to having things in the cloud. For instance, has anybody? I'm sure people here have probably used VMware, like vMotion and everything. Where
What's that?
Never heard of it.
I can't tell if they're being sarcastic or not, but I'm going to assume
So
yes.
it's a virtual
No,
machine?
no. So specifically with vMotion, though, you can basically push the server off to the other side of the country in milliseconds and be fine.
Yeah.
You guys know this shit. Anyway, community mic.
So you were saying before earlier, your cost is never. You think the cost is zero for the hardware, but go back 10, 15, maybe in 20 years. And think of the cost of infrastructure, what happened with people. Like the CCIE, the Cisco Certified Engineer. It was one of the most coveted certifications. And to get one of those guys to manage your enterprise was very expensive, right? Then eventually you started getting into grid computing. You're starting to Linux admins were starting to get expensive. People started becoming high cost, right? Not just your data center. So that's what kind of precipitated some of the cloud stuff. We can do this shit for cheaper, right? Now companies are starting to, I don't know if all companies are, but I know people who are Linux admins are either seeing the salaries go down, right? Or they're like, well, learn DevOps or something else that's new, or, accept the lower salary or GTFO, right? So there's always, I think that's part of that whole bubble, right? All of a sudden, people became expensive, or it was hardware. Now cloud was a solution. Cloud, I think, like you said, it's going to start getting up there, right? Once you start bringing services in, and that's like the thing about AWS. There's hundreds of services out there, right? But what's great about AWS for them, if you go in full bore, you create all these services out there, and we're not talking EC2 instances, stuff that you can spin up your own servers. We're talking like RDS, right? We're talking even things like SNS, simple network services, simple queuing services, Lambda, where you can just write a script. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, they raise your price. What do? You can't forklift that shit and go back or go into Google or go into Azure.
You're kind of stuck.
You are recreating 90% or more of that from scratch because you can't go lift an Amazon service and put that into another cloud or bring that back, right? You don't own that. You don't take a backup of that stuff. Maybe your script you can, but you still have to stand something else up.
Right.
So that is the tough part, right? If you bring it back, you pay someone. Money, hardware, contracts, support costs. And then it ages out, and then you're back to, oh shit, 5 years from now, what do? We either pay more money for a support contract or we buy new hardware again. So that's why I think it's just this, it's that, what do they call it in car sales, a balloon? You squeeze a balloon one way,
and then it comes
bigger than the other, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just this
and it goes back to the bathroom,
the bathtub,
water, or the bathroom. Crap! Now I was going to say something and I forgot.
Got lost in the bathroom.
Well, yeah, I got lost in the bathroom.
That'll happen.
God, this is why I need alcohol. No, I'm kidding. Do you guys have any other thoughts for this? Actually, this wasn't even where I think Doxy wanted to go with this, but
I don't remember what the initial question I had for you
were
was.
asking me about my next move. And
and then we started talking about because we were talking about because then you guys said that
just
then we're
where
going to
we're
go back to on-prem hardware or whatever, and I disagreed.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, what's your?
Oh no, I said my piece.
Okay,
okay.
So a couple of things. I do have a virtual private server out there, and the cool thing about being in the cloud is that when you're paying for let's say you have a VPS out there that's like I don't know $10 a month or the cheap ones, right?
Okay.
When they upgrade their services to where the $10 minimum includes instead of 512 megabytes of RAM, it's like now a gig.
Yeah.
You can actually upgrade to that tier for free, or not for free, but you're still paying the same amount with better specs. We have better hardware specs.
Sure.
So that's kind of cool. It goes back to where do you find your benefit? Where do you need your benefit? Do you need personnel?
Yeah, and that depends on the needs of your organization. Like it varies. I like cloud stuff, but it doesn't work for everyone.
Right.
Some people it's in cost-effective manpower, whatever. Because if you have on-prem hardware, you need someone to manage that to take care of it. It could be the same person, but not always. A different person does the hardware maintenance stuff like that, and the one that configures it and does all this stuff. Usually it's the same, probably more often than not, but not always. So that's an included cost that we have to think about as well.
And then my second point to Community Mike is that I got my Network Plus certification right before they changed the test to really cover SDN and those higher levels of abstraction, which now they're I don't know that stuff just yet.
And mobile.
And mobile too. So it's they're talking, of course, more about software configurations than they are about the actual layer 1 or layer 2 kinds of things. I mean, you need to know how to crimp a Cat5 cable, of course, but that's
why do I need to know that?
For the certification.
Okay. I was like, I don't want to do that.
But I'm saying for the new test, the one that was coming in right after I got certified, it's way more SDN and cloud and mobile than it is of your what it used to be.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's interesting. Anyway, that was my point. So.
Yeah, and I just wanted to ask you about your job. I don't know what's going on now.
Okay, cool.
But so you're not nervous. You're fine.
No, I'm.
Do you?
I'm excited.
Yes. Okay, that's fine.
So I heard dial tone, or I heard DTMF, and I'm like, what? that's the old voice. The old phone freak is still there. The old phone freak is still there. All right.
But the good thing is someone at home knows exactly what number she.
Yeah. Somebody's gonna keep replaying the audio back and be like, oh, I heard an 8.
Yeah.
I heard a 3.
That's gonna be you.
That's why I was listening. I was like, wait, I know that number.
All right.
Anyway, okay. So does anybody want to move on to the next topic?
If I have to.
Of course we do. Sure. What is the next topic, Zenify?
It's more stuff about you. You had questions, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, it's about me?
Yeah, this is your show.
Yeah, during. Well, I mean, we never even hit. it
Okay,
during
yeah.
the
So
week.
last week I wanted to talk about this topic, but of course, the topic last week was really good and really informative, and we had this nice discussion. So I figured we'd just let it go on. We're talking about the DerbyCon thing.
Oh yeah.
And if you want to listen about that, you go back to the last episode.
Come back.
Ben Affleck.
So,
Yeah.
all right. So I was advised by some of my friends here not to discuss this, only because
Don't do it.
Well,
I didn't.
Friends.
I don't care.
I said you definitely should discuss it. It's important for the people to know what
well,
you
yes.
did.
I'm not talking about you, Doc. I'm talking about some others. Not, no, I'm kidding. No. So it's cool because I learned a lesson in this one, and so I wanted to share it. And I think that's where Doxy was kind of getting at.
Yeah.
But a couple of weeks ago, my website got defaced.
Compromised.
It got compromised.
There was WordPress on it.
So, and for those of you at home who want to follow along with what happened in the hack, you can just Google Japanese keyword language hack, and that's exactly what happened. So I learned a lot about this one. So the type of attack that this is, so they hijack your website or your host or whatever. They deface your site, and they do what's called keyword or page cloaking, where initially when you look at it, it's fine, but then for like a certain amount of hours in the evening or whatever, when you're not paying attention, they switch to a page where they're advertising a shirt in Japan, or it's crazy shit.
Weird.
One thing I didn't do with this whole resolution is I didn't take any screenshots, which I'm kind of sad about because I wanted to show you guys. But it would be a whole bunch of like hiragana and katakana with pictures of shit that they're selling, backpacks and boonie hats, and like they had all these crazy
Did you
things.
buy anything?
No, of course not, dude.
Discount.
I wish.
You're hosting it for them.
Yeah,
You should.
exactly.
Why
No,
not?
so now the thing is when you load. Okay, let's back up a little bit. We shit on WordPress a lot, especially during the lightning round, right?
I've never done it.
We haven't done that in a very long time, in all honesty.
No, you're right. We haven't. Now, after talking with some of the people who helped me find a resolution for this, the WordPress core itself is actually pretty strong. We know people who have spoken to like direct influencers of WordPress, and
There's also a bunch of plugin developers.
right.
Here.
But I don't know this person directly, but we know somebody who has spoken to like the WordPress core team, basically. And so the WordPress core, as it is standalone, is actually pretty secure. And of course, as we know here, the plugins are what really fuck you. Okay. And I was running a plugin that had an SQL injection attack or a vulnerability.
Whoopsie.
And so that's where they got compromised. Now the funny thing is, I updated the plugin, and they said that they've patched the hole. But since then, I've deactivated the plugin. So meh. Anyway, the really cool part of this whole thing, though, is after reloading the core. So I'm going to get to this part. But after reloading the core and then flushing out anything that I saw, they would still compromise. Like 12 hours later, the page would still be defaced. So I'd be like, fuck, how are they getting in, right? And so to boil it all down, it got to the point where I would reload the core and I'd reload what I saw, and they would, whenever this hack happened, the htaccess file would get overwritten. Mm-hmm. Okay? So I was like, I know that this is happening like on a semi-regular basis. So if I watch the log file for the time that the htaccess file was modified, I can just take note of that and then watch the rest of the log files to see what else is being requested on the host, right?
Detective work.
Yes, exactly. Actually, Zenify, you love blue team stuff. This would be right up your alley, forensics and whatnot.
That's fun.
So that's exactly what I did. I set up a watch for like when the htaccess file is overwritten, because I knew it was going to happen again, because I didn't know, or I didn't want to pour through all these logs, So I was kind of just sitting and waiting. So when I saw that, I was just like this. I was at my computer like this. Okay.
Right.
Okay. No, I was actually just spot checking for my phone. Is it compromised? No. Okay. Oh, it is. Shit. Let's look at logs.
Right.
Right. So the htaccess file was overwritten probably around like 4:45 in the afternoon, whenever this day was. So I go through the logs and I see that there's a 200 response code. You know, like for those of you who know like your HTML, they requested a page and the page was there, and it was in the WP admin folder. It was a file called new_readme.php. Okay, now, yeah, new README. It's not the old README, it's the new one.
Oh, thank God.
And the README file, the README file is not HTML or like not a text file. It's a PHP file. That's kind of interesting.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, it's just very weird, right?
It's not very readable.
No, not at all. So I'm looking at this file, and I'm like, okay, so it's a PHP file. The date modified is not when I initially installed the site or the core. Because remember, I was reloading the core whenever I'd get compromised, and this one was added after the fact, or it wasn't, you know, the dates didn't match up. So when you open up this file, you see that it's like, it starts off looking like a legit WordPress page, like with PHP code and everything.
Yeah.
But then when you go down, of course, you start seeing some more of the malicious code, the way that they try to rewrite the htaccess file, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Wow.
So I could easily just delete this file and whatnot, and I kind of did. I deleted the contents of the file, but for those of you, have you guys ever heard of like a compression bomb or a
zip bomb?
A zip bomb?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I set one up to be accessed by that file. So whenever somebody requested that file, it would just open up that zip folder. And so I had this 900 kilobyte file that could expand into like a few terabytes.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Nice.
So now I put that in, just sit and wait and see what happens. And of course, it happened, and I haven't seen that IP since. And my site has been fine.
Huh.
My only question for you: did you have backups?
Of course not. I'm Chen.
Oh God.
For my
Right.
for my personal stuff, I'm very bad at that kind of administration.
Yeah.
I mean, I do make backups. It's I'm lazy when it comes to like pulling them off site. Again, this is for my own personal shit.
But I mean, I guess it's good because that way you would have just kept doing the backup thing, and then you
Yeah,
would've
like
actually fixed it.
I'm not gonna like, what I'm gonna do as a band-aid, like every 6 hours reload the core.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, so now you found a better solution, I guess, maybe.
So a lesson learned, of course, and we know this, right? Check your plugins, make sure they're updated, make sure everything is updated. Okay, keep updated with the release notes of plugins that you are using, because they're actually pretty good at disclosing when these vulnerabilities happen, and that they do have a patch, and so patch right away. The timing was off. So like I kept them updated for that maybe 2 or 3 days that I wasn't paying attention. There was a vulnerability. It got compromised. Boom. Now, please, anybody watching from home, I'm not like inviting you to just fuck my shit up.
Too late.
No. I wanted to use this as a learning experience and share like what I've learned here, right? Like,
Yeah, because asking the internet nicely not to fuck your shit up is
maybe it's a good thing we only have like 5 watchers. Or, Hey, the fact that we have small audience is a great thing sometimes. Yeah, somebody's gonna share the shit on Reddit.
People commenting in that they've already blown up.
Yeah. You know, let me check my site really quick.
But I mean, also you didn't say your site, right? So you.
No, I didn't say it. But
you're
if
fine.
you've actually listened to old websites, then
Old episodes?
old episodes.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. Cinefy,
Oh, we're good.
What's up?
you wrote a script.
Oh yeah, I wrote a script today.
How do you feel about that?
I felt pretty good about it until Satchel shit on me.
I did not shit on you at any point in time.
No, it wasn't that bad. I just didn't. I originally wrote it because I not really used to writing like batch scripts or anything, and I wanted to get into it. And so I used I already forgot what he told me it was.
Go-tos?
Yeah, the go-tos. But
Yeah,
I forgot what
it's
the
a-
flow function thing or whatever.
Oh, damn it.
Flow control.
But I don't because I don't
Control.
write a lot of. Why are go-tos bad? I don't.
So in the old days, is
Yeah,
if
so
I'm
they
old.
could describe that.
No. So go-tos are notorious for causing spaghetti code. Because like when you're looking at, let's say, basic, Visual Basic, not Visual Basic, but like
Well,
basic.
Visual Basic too.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
You're right. But like when you're looking at this code and you're following the lines of code, and this line says go to here. So instead of having a function, you're going to that part of the code,
okay.
and then it's running this subroutine or whatever it is, and then it says go to here, and this go to could be up here somewhere, and then
Yeah,
it
you gotta
could
go.
really And so when
Yeah.
you're trying to follow the code, like you're trying to debug,
Yeah, so mine definitely wasn't like that. Mine was just all
Right, and that's-
recursive down.
and that's fair. It's just
I could understand totally how it could start just looking like a mess.
Yeah.
I'm definitely offended because I only write spaghetti code, and I feel like you're attacking me. So
Wow.
why?
Well, no. Wow. Why do you do this?
Because I
You
have
really
this-
like spaghetti.
I love spaghetti.
Wait,
no, you
Okay.
don't.
wait.
I do love spaghetti.
In what way
You're
have you written
fucking
spaghetti
lying.
code though? Because
Really?
you're a Python person, right?
Wait, sorry. What's up?
You're a Python person. Like, in what ways do you write spaghetti code?
There's a joke. Don't ask me these questions.
Oh, I'm trying to be real with you, but
No. I think it's usually weird at first. I mean, I feel like it always is, but then I clean it up later. You know, I fix it up. I make it look nicer, and
That's what I'll probably be doing with this one. Like, I know that I could get it down from 80 lines to less. I mean, it's at 80 now, and I could probably get it down significantly.
yeah.
Well, I don't know. Me personally, if it gets the job done.
Yeah, right now it's getting the job done. I could, if I ever want to go back to it, maybe add other things to it.
Yeah.
I might, but
Then things get messy. Yeah.
yeah.
Looks like we have a community mic on
yeah,
the
give me
subject.
a mic.
Hey, I'll say this: I personally like Batch more than PowerShell for writing simple codes. Like, due to this having to transfer people onto like new domains, I wrote a simple Batch script that just copies files over, and I find go-tos so much easier to deal with
Yeah.
than like.
Then like a function.
Yeah, it
functions.
literally just go to. I ask if I'm copying to or from the external media, and then it just. That's it.
I mean, I guess they're more or less the same, but I don't understand why you think a go-to is better, easier.
Easier would be the
Easier,
word I
easier.
would use, not better.
Yeah.
Like, definitely, it's not like the proper way to do it, but like it got the job done, and it got me through 2 weeks of having to do this constantly.
I took my first programming class, like official class in high school. It was like I was a sophomore. No, I was a junior. It was like CS 101 or CS 1, you know, Computer Science 1. And like the very first thing that the professor told me, or the teacher told me, was, we will not be using go-tos. And it was pretty much beaten into our heads
Yeah.
that go-tos they're just a bad idea because of spaghetti code. And if anybody's looking at your code down the line, they need to know what's going on. Like,
My code is for me. They can
no,
suffer.
but that's the weakness when it comes to, like, if you look at older languages, like for instance COBOL, right? COBOL, it's full of these subroutines and these things that just kind of go to here, go to there, go, you know, and it's a behemoth now.
It could get
Of,
gross. Yeah.
you see what I'm saying?
I mean, it's
Like,
the reason it's still around is just because of
exactly,
that reason.
Yeah.
exactly. You have old school programmers who know how to look at this stuff, and God, man, when they pass on, this is gonna be fucked.
I mean, it's already happening.
Yeah.
It is, and like it's crazy because COBOL is still in like what, like your banking mainframes.
Yeah,
and
most the
9
DMV.
billion lines, I think, was the last count.
9 billion lines.
9 billion lines of active code.
Exactly. So imagine finding all the go-tos or tracing all those go-tos in 9 billion lines of code. Like, good fucking luck.
Yeah, like there's a company that their whole purpose is, they're a bunch of old COBOL engineers. Their whole purpose is to update that into more modern languages.
Yeah.
And it's, though they sell a product, it's the reason why they exist is because you can't just put it into a machine and have it spit out like Java or JavaScript or whatever you want to update it to.
The person who invents that will be a very rich man or woman.
Exactly, because like all these like small things that were at the time, they're like, oh yeah, we'll just do this. Okay, it works, perfect.
Yeah.
And then it just keeps building on layer after layer until it's something that can't be translated because it shouldn't even work by most modern sense.
Well, obviously, I'm gonna go learn COBOL now.
Well, so,
Dude, it's a six-figure job. Yeah, it's a six-figure job. Like,
It can't be that hard.
don't get me wrong. It's just fucking
offers a program specifically to
9
we can't
billion.
hear you.
We can't hear you now. There's like 9 billion lines of code though.
Perfect.
Yikes.
well, so here's the thing. You gotta think. You're like, well, this is only for me, so who gives a shit or whatever.
Were you talking about my code?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But here's the thing. It's also for you a year from now.
Ah, yes. Sorry, thank you.
I
He's
feel
right.
like you have a story about this.
Yeah, look at my earlier pushes to GitHub, like where I'm just like, what the fuck did I do here?
What was I thinking?
Yeah, no, seriously. I look at my old programming ways and I'm like, I'm an idiot. I'm an asshole. Like for myself. Yeah, you're laughing, but it's true. Yeah, you know,
nice.
exactly.
Yeah.
Just calling you an idiot.
Man,
Yeah.
past me was a dick.
Yeah, no. And what's worse is like, you don't comment because you don't put comments in your code saying like,
Oh, I know
like
all
I
this.
know what's gonna
I'll
happen.
remember
I
this.
love it if you like you don't upload it to your like personal repository. It's like a company one. You're like, what dickhead wrote? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Community mic.
So have you started putting comments?
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
I
he
have.
comments everything.
Well, absolutely. So like, And I start off basic, right? So like my first comment is import the universe, and then I bring in all the libraries that I'll need. And then my next one is like, let's say constants or, variable initialization. And I just kind of block it off that way, functions. And that's just to start off.
Yeah, I start making comments before I write code.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I write I write out the idea of what I'm writing in comments and then code it.
Yeah,
That's a good idea.
great idea. Absolutely.
Yeah,
great
Oh,
idea.
yeah.
it's a-
I
yeah.
wish-
I write.
I wish
I
Pastor knew that.
I don't because I've spent years going back and saying, "God damn, I was an idiot."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit. I learned.
I got to fix
I'm
that
gonna
for
rewrite it.
Yeah,
myself.
and the way I fix that is I write all my comments out first. Basically, I
Yeah.
talk myself through the series of events I need to happen, and then I go back and code for it.
Yeah,
Right.
like pseudocode basically, and
Yeah,
then you go
yeah.
back and replace the pseudocode with Cody code.
I learned.
Cody code. Yep.
So,
I learned my
well,
commenting habits from BGM. He was
was that?
he was my mentor.
Oh,
BGM. He's a good commenter.
Yeah, he's good to learn from comment wise, one otherwise.
And coding one, just in
And,
general.
yeah, and coding wise,
Just
he's a
in
fucking
general,
genius.
yeah.
Now, Zenify, to your credit though, you had really good comments in your script of just
I
like this
tried.
is what I'm doing here, or
And I
this is
really
what's
tried
going
to
happen.
build out like the README because the problem was so like what I want to do is it's a install script for a monitoring system, and I couldn't find anybody like online anywhere that had a similar install script because I was kind of just trying to cheat my way through and just like
Sure.
get it done. So I didn't see it, so I coded it and then I put it online because I imagine there's got to be others out there searching for it.
Right.
You're gonna save someone's life one day.
Yeah, I'm
Probably.
really hoping so. So that's why I tried to like heavily comment it, heavily document it. I took screenshots of like my tree architecture just to exactly show how I did it. Because every question I had in my head, I was like, somebody else is going to ask this question, and they're not going to be able to reach me. So now they're going to see it. It should just be good.
So you're on DevRant, right? The
Yeah,
social
yeah.
coding thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I forgot about that.
yeah,
So good.
I'm on it every now and then, but like I see every now and then, some old meme will come back up about like you asking a question on Stack Overflow, and either two things happen, or okay, let's say three things happen. Either you get your or you get your question answered, or you see that you were the one who asked this like 6 months ago,
Yeah.
or somebody says they have a question and they said, "Oh, never mind, fixed it," and then they close it
Yeah.
without showing the solution.
That's toxic.
What? I don't do that.
Oh yeah.
I have never done
Yeah,
that.
you
You did it
literally-
last week.
What did I do?
Awk.
You s-
Oh, because I figured out what I was doing.
Yeah, and all of the people here are like, "What did he do? How did he fix it? What's going on?" And you're like, "No, don't worry about
Yeah,
it."
I fixed it. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
I would tell you I switched from awk to grep and I did it.
Yeah, we still like to know what the resolution is.
Use grep. Grep is easier. It's,
But what was the
it's-
problem? What were you trying
What was I doing? What did I say?
You should have. He should have commented. He
you
should
literally
have
just said,
commented.
I have questions about Awk. And I'm
Oh,
like, what are
no,
your
no.
questions? What's your issue?
It was-
They're
it was
like,
a-
never mind, I fixed it.
Yeah, it was like I said. It was a super
You
dumb,
know how
easy thing.
much that pissed all of us off?
Yeah.
Dude, we want to know.
I honestly I came in. I asked a question. Nobody responded for a while, so I kind of like backed away for a while. I started doing other stuff, and then I figured it out. Zenwolf made a comment, I believe, and then I fixed it. And I was like, "Oh shit, easy!" And then I disappeared.
Oh, I think I remember what Zenwolf was suggesting. Like, you're asking about Awk, and he's like, "Why don't you just use Python or
Yes.
something?"
Yeah,
and you're like, "Oh
he
yeah,
said
why don't you
use-
use another tool?" And that other tool happened to be grep.
that spurred my imagination because
Fucking
you go
asshole.
down these rabbit holes.
Your fault, Wolf.
You're like doing these things. You're like, there's only one way to do this. It's what I'm doing right now. Like I'm so close to getting what I want,
Yeah.
and like I gotta finish it. And you're like, dude, just use this other thing, and you're done in like a second. You're like,
Yeah.
fuck. And
That's exactly what happened to me during my thing. I was so determined to make one section work, and when it didn't work all yesterday, and I got into the office this morning, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna switch it up. I'm gonna see if this works. It fucking worked.
Yeah, exactly. And it was a super dumb thing. Like it wasn't anything. I was trying to parse a file for a specific string of information that I wanted to then pipe into another file to like track a trend of something that was happening on the web server. So I was just trying to get a single piece of information and track that over time. That's all. That's all it was.
You
It
could have
was
said that 2 weeks ago when we all
yeah,
asked.
but you guys took too long to ask me what I was asking about, and I was already on another rabbit hole by then. You guys took too long, man. That's your fault.
Do you
Community
guys,
mic.
do you guys know what grep stands for?
Regular expressions.
Get regular expression print.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
clearly
didn't know that. Yeah,
Well, in my mind, I'm just like, grep is regular expressions.
No, get regular expression print.
get regular
Okay,
expression
cool.
print. I did not know that.
Get regular expression. What was the last one?
Print.
Print. Oh, okay.
Which I mean, appropriate.
Yeah.
Good thing they didn't
It
ask
is.
me that on the Linux Essentials.
There's a
exam.
really good about 20-minute video about the guy who invented grep and why he needed it.
Because he got fed up with awk.
Probably. We should watch that video.
It's probably me. It's probably me. Time
Oh,
traveler.
was it said?
He posted it 6 months ago.
Yeah, this is me. He's like, shit. It was me.
Yeah.
Thread has been
Actually,
closed.
so anybody who can research really quickly in the audience, can you find that video and then post it in live stream? I'm kind of interested.
Yeah.
If anybody can find that really quick. The video that Community Mike just mentioned. The video about grep.
Moral of the story is there's always a different tool. Not necessarily better,
Yeah.
just different. Don't
have doxy.
Look here, if you want me to respond to stuff, you gotta ask me fast. I get distracted very easily.
Yeah, clearly. What was
I'm
that,
gone.
today or yesterday when you're like, "Hey, Chen, you ready to leave for lunch?"
Yeah.
5 minutes later, dude, I got distracted. I'm heading there right now.
Yeah, we were there.
If you don't respond immediately, I immediately get distracted by something else, and I'm so sorry.
It happens to me too. Me and McNoah were just recently talking about this. I'll literally like be having a conversation with somebody, and I'm trying to think ahead about what I'm talking about, and I'll immediately forget what I'm talking about, and I just stop mid sentence. I'm like, I don't know where I was going with that.
I mean, dude, there are times where like I've asked you a question and you're like, oh yeah, let me answer that like in a second, and then like 2 days later, Zenify, you're like, oh
me?
fuck,
Dude,
yeah,
it happens every time. I'll see you typing, and you type to me like a whole wall about like what you need help on, and I'm like, oh shit, I understand, and then I'll get distracted, and like 2 days later, usually over the weekend,
Yeah, over the
I'll
weekend,
come
I'm
on
like-
Monday, and I'll go to like say something to Chen, I'll see this whole thing, I'm like, oh shit.
And I'm like, all right. But then we have a Monday morning conversation, so that's cool too.
Yeah.
Anyway, we do have that grep video posted in the live stream. Thank you out there, faithful listener, and awesome. So we can look at that later. I'm not going to play it now.
We could,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll play it up on
it's-
the, we'll
it's
play it up on the big screen.
It's on computer
Yeah, it's a
file?
computer file,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I really like that channel. It's a YouTube channel. Yeah. Anyway, anything else about Zenify script? I know we have some news items to cover, so
I mean,
We have like 10 minutes, dude.
it is lightning round time.
10 minutes.
10.
I mean, we started.
Well, I mean, we started
Yeah, we
at like
started a little
7.
late.
We totally started on time, 7
we
minutes.
started totally.
Plus 7 minutes.
Totes.
Totes.
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever. Which stories did you want to talk about? The ones that I linked, or did you want to talk about the one I didn't link, which was the Facebook, Apple, Google thing?
I'll leave it up to you guys. What do you guys want to talk
I
about?
don't know, man. I
That's-
literally
this is-
asked you the question.
Chin, Zenify does all that work for us posting the program, and
Yeah.
you
Yeah, and I'm
ruined
like,
it.
hey, you want to talk about news? Let's bring up the news.
That's exactly what I just said.
Okay, let's
There's
talk-
3 articles.
You're right.
Plus another.
Let's talk about the one that's not posted, because then we could probably talk about this later. But the Apple Facebook thing.
Yeah, sure. Who knows?
I
more
don't know.
about
I don't
that
really
than
feel
do.
like tacos. Why don't we get pizza?
We had this problem last night too. Side story with like Satchel and me and a couple other crew.
Wait, about
No,
not.
a D&D thing where like literally like the 4-hour session was, I don't know, where do you want to go? I don't know, where do you want to go? Shit, man, I don't know, where do you want to go? Let's go over here.
And then we get over there, and they'd be like, "You can't come over here."
Oh, you guys sound like the vultures from Jungle Book.
Oh,
Yeah.
No, Jungle Book.
So it's
Oh,
it's
vultures,
literally
yes.
the same
Yeah,
thing.
where they were like they weren't actually the Beatles, but they had that Beatle-esque type
Yeah.
of I don't know, what do you want to do?
Yeah. So it was literally that, which is a play on the where do you want to eat tonight? I don't know, where do you want to eat tonight?
So wait, what'd you guys end up eating?
No, we
It
didn't-
wasn't about eating.
It was about D&D.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Oh,
It
boy.
went to the west.
Oh boy.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it
Here's
doesn't matter. Yeah.
here's the thing. I don't know anything about this Apple Facebook story, but I do know that Snopes stopped.
Oh, yes.
Fact-checking
I know
Facebook.
I didn't know we didn't post this either.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
somebody else posted this, I think, in Security Theater, which is one of our channels. If you're, hanging out with
Discord.
us on Discord. But yeah, so
That's an interesting one. Talk about that one.
yeah, what I know is that Snopes isn't a very big company, right?
I believe someone
No.
said 16 people,
Like
which
16 people.
which actually surprised me. I assumed it was way more
Wait,
for some reason.
16 people in total, or 16 people on this team? I thought it was
In total.
I thought it was a team of 16.
Yeah, the team that runs the site.
Yeah,
the whole site.
It's. I mean, yeah, that's that thing.
So to my knowledge, there's like they had I don't know how much longer it's gonna last, but they had this partnership with Facebook to fact check
Well, it's over.
what's on there.
They canceled it.
Oh, it's done. Okay,
It's done. Yeah.
And the thing is, when you have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of posts per second from what is it, 2 billion people, 4 billion people, or however many people are on Facebook, whatever it
Right.
is, like it's going to be hard for a 16-person team to fact check all that bullshit.
Especially when a large percentage of that are bots.
Yeah, yeah. So
Do you
it's
expect
just
16 humans to keep up with bots?
yeah.
Nah.
But I mean, this is bad, right?
Oh, yeah.
Now, because I mean, now people already share stuff on Facebook and they assume it's true because it's on the
I
internet.
will say,
and plus,
yes.
it's like a echo chamber. You hear
Right,
you're in a Facebook group, whatever. They're like, oh, these things are bad. You're like, these things are fucking bad because people keep saying it in this channel, and now no one's like, hey, dude, that's wrong. Look at this article. Now there's no more of that. So now it's like these things are bad. It's like Like it's not bad. And you're like, prove it. And you're like, fuck, I don't have Snopes.
I will say this is definitely not a Snopes issue. This
No.
is, yeah.
No,
This is
yeah.
definitely a Facebook issue. And I will say that I am much happier since I don't check it. Facebook anymore.
I deleted mine.
Community mic.
Community Mike.
It's kind of funny though, because like Facebook made this huge thing, like, oh yeah, we're gonna be fact checking everything, and now that's just over. And is anyone like lined up to replace that team?
So it's not over. There was several different people that were taking part in this. Snopes was one of them. But I think there's others. I thought PolitiFact was a part of that. I can't remember exactly. But basically, it was such a manual process that it was just impossible for them to keep up. But there are others that are still involved.
That are still
Part
doing
that
it.
were part of Facebook's like stance against.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're part of that group, collective thingy, whatever. But yeah, they had to manually enter every false post that they flagged into a dashboard on the platform. And so basically they were saying, look, Facebook, make a freaking API for this so that we can just feed you a stream, and be done with it.
Make it
But
easy.
instead I have to go to your shit and click all the things for each post.
Wow, that sucks.
Right.
I mean, Facebook has APIs for other things,
But not that.
but not that. That's
Did
Wait,
Facebook
wait,
respond? Did they just said,
oh yeah, did they? That's a good question.
Let's see. From
no, go ahead.
article.
No, just I'm surprised that they wouldn't have an API for something like. I mean, they have an API for other types of things.
I wouldn't say I'm surprised. I don't say something they don't think about, but they probably don't deem it as important. Like, why would they invest time in something that they don't particularly care about?
That's true.
And I'm
Like-
speaking out of my ass because I have no idea.
No, you're right, because like the cell phone issue. For those of you who might not remember, you could easily basically reverse dox people with if you knew their cell phone number, or if you could find out a person's name by putting
By
in
writing the
a
cell phone
cell phone number. So like, let's say a random number called you.
Yeah.
And I'm not assuming that it's a robot or anything, but you would search that. You put that in the Facebook search up at the top, and they would spit back names associated with that phone number.
Yeah.
So it was
Routinely
Yeah.
break their API.
right, and so
No, go ahead. Yeah.
it was a way to find people out. You know, like sadly, I know people who like, especially when it comes to DEF CON, there were people that I only knew from handles. And that's where I wanted to leave it. I'm like, you know what? I know this person's a handle. I know how to get a hold of them. That's all I need to know. Like, you know, you're you and I'm me, whatever.
Right.
We'll all be. And then just because I was curious, because I'm
Curious.
a curious person, I would put in this 10-digit phone number into the search for Facebook, and it would spit back names. Now, whether those names are real names or not doesn't matter. It's not the name that I was thinking it would be. Like, it wasn't like Destroyer 86. It was like name first, name last.
Pam
you know, like-
Balam.
yeah, exactly.
Whoa, Black Panther.
Community Mike.
I got a question for Doxy.
What?
That's
That's,
hot seat.
that's a
So-
mistake.
Samsung took 6 months to roll out Android 9.
Yes.
What do you think?
What do I think about them taking so long to roll it out?
Yeah.
I think it's sort of like third world countries that don't update their phones often. Like it's a problem for them because when they update it, obviously it comes with a lot of breaks. And I feel like Samsung, it's not cost effective for Samsung to have the updates. Number one, because people, unless you're an enthusiast, don't really give a shit about updates. Unless it's like a major feature in there or something that people are like really looking forward to, really want. It's just going to cause more problems than it gives them.
Fixes.
Yeah, it's not a good enough reason for them to rush updating. For like us, we're like, oh, I want that new update now because now it has these things that are like important to me. Like it fixes like Wi-Fi connection issues, yada yada yada. Other people are like, I don't give a shit. They're like, what's Android 9? Right? They're like, I have an Android and that's all they say I have a Samsung. That's good enough for them.
I think it took so long because it broke so many of their UI.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I can see
right.
Yeah, that
right.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to do their own thing and get away from like the look and feel of Android.
Yeah.
Yeah,
TouchWiz.
oh, God.
I forgot. Yeah, go sorry.
See, I think it broke TouchWiz.
I mean,
And
that's
they've
entirely
been coming that
possible.
so it's taken so long because they had to fix so many of their features to line up to the new.
Yeah, I forgot because I mean, so what? 5 years ago or whatever, UIs used to be a big thing. Like, remember, everyone had their own. Moto had Blur. Samsung
Yeah,
had TouchWiz.
you had your own-
LG had
Right.
whatever theirs was.
It was like really
Bullshit,
where Android itself was really a back end thing for these.
yeah,
for these
like
brands.
they all had their own style. So it was like, I know I have an LG because it has this skin Android, or Samsung has this. What? No.
Here's an extra dock and here's a different weather app.
No, but people knew that. Like you
Yeah.
you know, if you have a grid of icons, you're like, this is a fucking iPhone. If you have whatever, I don't remember now because it's been a while. But like if you have this certain dock, like that's a fucking and maybe only enthusiasts notice that, but it was like
Maybe,
something
yeah.
to set them apart. It's like, I have a Samsung because it has this layout.
I always loaded something.
Was Samsung supposed to get away from Android?
Samsung started they have their own system, Tizen, that they've been trying to migrate to for a long time, but because they want to do without the Play Store and without like Android and all that, but it hasn't worked out well for them.
So everybody, no matter which platform you're on, expects a store or a place that you go to load apps.
Yes. Yeah.
And so basically they're saying, hey, we're going to create a third place for you to load apps.
Yeah. And I mean, when Android first came out, that would have been absolutely feasible, like, because people weren't so into the Android ecosystem. But now,
they weren't dug
if they
in.
did that, like, I mean, think about Windows Phone when they had their own app store and stuff, and people were like, what the fuck is this? Like, where's Snapchat? Where's whatever? Like, you don't have the things I expect to be here. Why would I use you? Why am I going to wait when this other thing already has all the stuff that I expect to be here?
Yeah.
Right.
So for updates though, I remember what was the argument with? Is it security patches and updates are on the carrier?
So
Or-
yes.
So why is that so Android updates are on the manufacturer and then security patches are on
Well, I think the manufacturer does their updates to make sure it's compliant with their system, like it works with their system. Then they push it to the carrier. Then the carrier pushes out to the phones. I believe. I'm not sure of the whole pipeline, but I believe that's how it works.
Right.
So damn, it could have been Samsung could have taken 9 months, but then after that 9 months the carrier goes, well, we can't push yours until 10 months from now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
there's
mean,
a number of carriers. They take an extended amount of time to get that up to you because
Jeez.
they put their little stuff that they've
Yeah.
signed contractually they have to provide. So
Yeah.
That's why you just buy a freaking Pixel.
Yeah, buy straight from Google or whatever. But I mean, that is the thing, like why it takes so long for like
Yeah.
normal phone updates or whatever to get because I mean they have their bloatware on there
Yeah.
or whatever to make it compliant with their system, and it's a bunch of stuff.
I got a Motorola Click. That's the. Oh yeah, no, I'm going back.
I hated that phone.
It was terrible. Well,
I hated that
actually,
phone.
I didn't
You're
get
t-
it. My
The click
wife
was
had
with the
it.
sliding keyboard, right?
Yeah, it had a little sliding
okay.
keyboard. Not the
Jeez.
G1 and not the G2.
No,
Those
no,
both
yeah.
had sliding keyboards. But
Well, but the G1 was actually obviously it was really good for the first run around.
for the very first Android phone, yeah, no,
But
it was,
God,
it was awesome.
the Moto Click
Yeah.
pissed me off.
It was
Oh
some
yeah,
bullshit.
that's the one because remember even back then people would ask me for phone recommendations and
Yeah.
stuff, and someone got one. I was like, you should get an Android like these phones, and they got a Moto Click, and they're like, why is it so slow and shitty? And I was like, because you bought
didn't
a
listen
fucking.
what the fuck I
This
told
is
you.
not what I told you to buy.
yeah,
Sorry, community mic.
yeah.
Yeah, so going back to Tizen, I mean, as you probably know, Samsung commands the largest market of phones
Yes.
around the world, right? So for everything that's on the Google Play Store, and Samsung has their own stores, right? But who the fuck uses like Samsung Music?
Exactly.
Shit, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But they have to pay royalties to Google, right? 30%. They want that to themselves. So having that operating system, owning it, just like Apple, right? From the hardware, gives them customization to the chip, gives them all the cash. If they can get the Play Store, they just need people like Google. I'm sorry. Well, Google, Facebook, Twitter, all the major players to write for their Play Store.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
I think it's just a matter of time before they do that. Now they do have Tizen phones, or like in India, right?
Yes.
I don't know what the
where
fuck.
the Play Store isn't as important and stuff.
Right,
Where people
right.
don't need Google
They
services.
just want a fucking phone and search the internet.
Yeah, they don't give a shit.
Right, exactly. But right now Tizen's still around, and actually that's a joint project. I believe is it Intel. I can't remember who else is. I think it's Intel that's also part of the Tizen
I did
project.
not know
It's
that.
supposed to be actually open source, right?
Yeah.
But it's on their phones. I'm sorry, it's on their TV sets. It's still in the watches.
It's the watches.
Right.
That's
Android. They don't use Android Gear. They use Tizen.
Yes.
Right. So they are slowly trying to move into that market. It's just if they can get all of the major players to write for Tizen, then they will immediately shift over.
like, fuck Google. Fuck Android.
They will fuck them over. Yep.
Yeah. I don't want that to happen. I don't want another split. What was it called? It's fractured. Like Android was fractured. I mean, it's
Oh, fragmentation.
fragmentation. Yeah.
Is it like South Park, the fracture but whole?
Yeah. It's like it's not as bad as it was. It's still apparent, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was like
Yeah.
5, 6, 7 years ago when
Yeah.
like you had phones on like Android 5 and phones on Android 2.1 still or whatever the whole thing was.
Right.
But if we introduce a new player into the system, it's going to make it even worse because now people are going to have like it's an Android, but it's not an Android. I mean, it won't be an Android anymore, but whatever. It's the whole confusion in the system.
I don't think it's gonna work because if you taste the sweet nectar of pixels,
That's the thing. And with Pixels, they are not called. So you can't, unless you have Verizon, you can't buy a Pixel from a carrier. I would say I'm not going to
So
give.
don't.
I'm not going to give a percentage because I can't. I don't have one, but people don't buy phones outright. Usually, they buy them from the carrier. If it's
they
not,
finance.
if it's
But you
not,
could
if it's not subsidized, they're not going to do it.
I got you, but you can buy a Pixel 2 XL right now for dirt cheap.
Well, from where?
I think you can get it from Amazon.
Maybe, but people don't buy. People don't.
Yeah, they're under 400.
People don't buy phones from Amazon. They go to the store like, oh shit, look at this nice phone. I want that one.
Yeah, right. People don't buy phones from Amazon. All right.
No, I'm saying unless you're specifically looking for it, you don't go to Amazon like what new phones are out.
You can just go to fucking Google.
Yeah,
and
I
get
bought
one.
my V20 from Amazon.
Well, you can go to the Google store.
Yeah.
Again, normal people probably don't do
Yeah.
that.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
Google has been doing way better with their marketing stuff, but people aren't like, fuck, man, they're like, where can I get that Google Pixel? They go to T-Mobile, whatever. Like, do you guys have the Pixel? Like, no, you can buy it from the store, or you can just buy this S9 we have right here in the
And
store
since
take
you're
it
in front of it,
and
they're like,
take it
fucking
home
give it to
today.
me,
And people
yeah.
are like, yeah, and it's only $250. People are like, yeah, fuck yeah.
Community Mike.
I would say outside of this environment, I've just got blank stares when I said Pixel.
Oh yeah, of course.
I mean, no one. I haven't encountered anybody outside of this space
That sucks.
that knows what a Pixel is.
And yeah, it's the price, it's the marketing, it's not convenient for people. It's not like in their face like everything. Like you see S9 or Galaxies rather everywhere. Everyone knows what a Galaxy is. Like everyone. No one knows what a Pixel is, or very few people. It's a niche thing. And again, it's super expensive. It's as expensive as an S9, but not when you buy it from a carrier. And that upfront cost is what people care about.
Well, I mean, whenever anybody recommends something other than a Pixel to me, I just ask them politely but firmly to leave.
Well,
As you should.
not only that, outside of like hacker environment
Yeah.
or tech environment, I would say 90+% of every phone I see is an iPhone. Somebody else has it as an iPhone.
Yeah.
I don't see Android.
No. You have your Galaxy, iPhone. Maybe every once in a while someone have an LG. Maybe. Not
Yeah.
really anymore.
You know, people work in tech. They have it.
Yeah.
Like as far as like all my clients, they all have iPhones. Every single one. They hate Android.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, that's the way the world works.
I guess.
All right,
I need
guys.
to taste the sweet, sweet nectar.
I mean,
Yeah, feel the power between your legs. I mean, in your hands. I mean,
What are you doing with your phone?
nothing.
That could
All right,
probably
guys.
cause cancer. You need to
Yeah,
watch it.
yeah, it causes cancer.
You gotta check that in the shower.
Yeah.
Or, like roll between your.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
We move forward.
All right, guys, we're going to move forward to the lightning round. For those of you who do not know what the lightning round is,
What's the lightning round?
The lightning round, Satchel, is where we go to thehackernews.com, at least this week, and we're going to read the headlines from their main page and give our tweet's length of an opinion on the subject matter.
Okay.
Who would like to go first?
me.
All right,
Always.
Doc, you said it first.
I'm fucking quick.
Quickity quick. All right. And remember, we don't want to tell you what to think, just how to search for stuff. All right. I always fuck it up.
You'll get it one of these days.
Yeah, one of these.
All right,
We're only,
first
we're
article.
only 4 years in. You got
Yep,
time.
there you go. I'll learn it. Training wheels. I'm still in training. All right. First article. Hacker who reported flaw in Hungarian telecom faces up to 8 years in prison.
For reporting the flaw? Holy
Yep.
shit. Don't disclose? Just kidding. Always disclose.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of rough. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel about that because if you're supposed to responsibly disclose, but people are getting thrown in fucking prison.
It sounds to me like someone was just hungry to put that guy in jail.
Oh boy.
Oh, God.
Oh, boy.
Mine is going to be hashtag I was just trying to help. All right.
You attempt it.
All right, next one. New Mac malware targets cookies to steal from cryptocurrency wallets.
Remember when cryptocurrency was big?
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it's
Remember
not
when
big.
everyone cared about cryptocurrency?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people are still telling me, oh, it's coming back. You just wait.
Uh-huh.
All right, dude.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
don't even really bother drinking when someone says blockchain. anymore.
It's not a bubble. Is that it? That's
Yeah.
everybody's opinion?
Yeah.
All right, next one. Airbus suffers data breach. Some employees' data exposed.
Ugh, change your passwords? Oh,
Yeah.
that sucks.
What's I mean, I got to read the article. I'm curious.
I
about
don't-
what
this-
data.
Yeah, Airbus is an airline.
Here's what happened. Someone cheaped out,
Yeah.
and someone else didn't change their fucking password.
100%.
Yeah, there you go.
We know the answers.
Yep.
I bet they did it like that attack on Scorpion. Remember that first episode when they hacked the plane
Dude,
from the
I
fucking
don't-
Oh,
ground?
where they're handing down the Cat 5 to the fucking car.
So stupid.
How the fuck?
Aircraft manufacturer.
Yeah.
Airline.
I've been-
Sorry. Aircraft manufacturer. I've been corrected.
It's no big deal. The runway was only 26 miles long.
Right? And I can barely. Okay.
That's gonna be a joke forever.
All right. Okay. We'll talk about that later.
All right,
Scorpion
next one.
pissed me off.
FBI mapping Joan app. It's a JOANAP malware, JONAP malware, victims to disrupt the North Korean botnet.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know there was a North Korean botnet going on. No idea.
Don't they only have like 20,
Like 20 IP
20
addresses?
28?
No, they have a 1024 IP space, but of course those could all be natted, so that like there's hundreds and hundreds of devices behind that. But as
Yeah.
far as like I guess their public internet space, they only
Yeah.
have like 1024 addresses.
Well, they
still
don't.
go through China.
Yeah, that's true. They definitely lease out a bunch.
All right, next one. Here we go. Facebook paid teens $20 to install research app that collects private data. Whoa!
I mean, at least they paid them for it. It's the only time I've heard people getting paid for their data.
I can't believe this is a thing. No, I can't believe.
I can totally believe it.
Yeah, why am I even surprised anymore?
Well, because someone
Oh,
was
and it was
thinking,
it was a VPN as well. It was a VPN app.
Wow.
Wait, it was a VPN app provided by Facebook.
Yeah, and Facebook
that's totally trustworthy.
paid them to download the VPN app, so then you turned it on and all your traffic went through them. So they
Ew,
were
that's
not.
disgusting.
I put all these foxes in charge of watching the chicken house, and somehow all my chickens are gone.
Literally, it's a drop in the bucket
Right.
for them. You go, here's $20. We're getting so much from you guys.
Oh, yeah, for sure. What they sold them. I mean, at least they got paid. Huh? That's all I have to say.
Shit.
Wow.
All right, we got two more articles, fellas. iCloud possibly suffered a privacy breach last year that Apple kept a secret.
I would honestly say I feel like that would be hard to believe. Apple's usually pretty good about disclosing and the
I
security
mean,
practices
Apple,
and stuff.
after the fappening,
Yeah. So I mean,
that was an
it's-
iCloud breach.
Still one of the greatest
Big one.
names for a breach.
It totally could have happened, but
Sorry,
I'm not,
audience, can't hear you.
It totally could have happened, but I'm not. I kind of doubt it. I mean, I don't doubt it. That's rude, but meh.
Thoughts?
Somebody cheaped out.
All right, last article
That
of
is
the
that is an
evening.
ad.
How to recover lost
that
or
is an
deleted
ad.
file. Oh, never
That is
mind.
an ad.
That's a how-to. All right, my bad. Sorry, I don't listen to Doxy. Anyway, that brings us...
Actually, I don't know if it's an ad.
It is an ad. Or at least it's a question that can be answered with Google.
Yeah.
How to recover
do you
lost
do
or
it?
deleted
I don't know.
files.
Fucking Google it.
Yeah, all right, exactly. Google is your best friend. Anyway, we are at the end of the lightning round, which brings us to the end of the show.
Yep.
We have run out of time, but not out of shit to say. So join us again next week, like every Friday night at 7:30 p.m. You might not see me next week. There's a reggae concert I got to go to. Saying,
Oh,
That could be interesting.
last I checked, I was going.
Some people
No.
will be here.
are you sure?
Yeah, for sure. I'm here.
Which one were you missing in February?
Week after.
Okay.
Yes, we're
Don't
good.
ask me questions.
You guys are good. We're good. We're good.
All right.
There will be people here because, like every Friday night, we're going to be here at the Sin Shop at 7:30, 1075 American Pacific Drive, Suite C in Henderson, Nevada. Go to sinshop.org for information on the shop. Remember, we got a lot of cool shit going on. So go to meetup.com/sinshop for information on our meetups and appointments and stuff that we do here. We have a board meeting tomorrow, fellas.
do.
Except
Yeah.
Doxy. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yep.
See you in hell.
All right, and for information on us, go to Greynoise, GREYNOI.SE. Remember, we don't talk shit about Sweden. We love their meatballs, so we could use their domain,
And their furniture.
their top level domain, and their furniture. IKEA, what is it?
IKEA?
I think it's IKEA.
IKEA.
It's IKEA.
I believe so.
Anyway, my name is Master Chen.
This is Doxy.
This is
Oh,
Zenify.
God.
And I'm Richard Satchel.
Good night, everybody.
You're tired.
I forgot.